Welcome to the Plant Report, a radio show that educates about the green world one plant at a time. The Plant Report is a new educational resource about plants, herbal medicine, ethnobotany, and the human-plant relationship. Listen to our podcast, read our blog, watch our videos, and learn from experts and the plants. The Plant Report is a project of Sustainable World Radio and is hosted by Jill Cloutier. Thanks for listening to the Plant Report because every plant has a story. Our plant today is Kalo. Latin name
is Colocasia esculenta.
To learn about this plant, I visited the Maui Nui Botanical Garden located on the island of Maui in Hawaii. While I was there, I spoke with plant collections manager Tamara Sherrill and farmer and plant expert John Aquino.
I'm Tamara Sherrill, the plant collections manager at Maui Nui Botanical Gardens.
Okay, and Tamara, you're going to show us a plant that you have here, and what is the plant that we're about to see?
We're going to look at the basis of the Hawaiian culture, which is Kalo, or Taro, and that is Colocasia esculenta. And the gardens here is part of a statewide network that maintains the remaining Hawaiian cultivars of Kalo. So we have more than 70 cultivars here in cultivation right now. And what we're trying to do is grow and distribute these old Hawaiian varieties to farmers and growers and keep them in existence.
Interesting. Okay, let's head over there.
Okay. So we have several places that we grow them, and it's kind of experimental because I don't know if John mentioned this to you, but we are on a sand dune. So this is an old coastal dune system, and as we're walking by it right now, it's actually been bulldozed, it's been leveled, there's been topsoil brought in, but we have a section of the garden that you can actually see it's beach sand, and it is beach sand as far down as you can dig. And if you look at a soil map of Maui, you can see that at the base of these mountains, it's actually Mana Kahalavai or the West Maui Mountains. There's all kinds of fertile soils that were made from the mountains eroding, and it was a huge kalo growing area. In fact, it was called Navai Eha, the Four Waters, and I've heard that it was one of the most, if not the most productive taro growing areas. Now, right here where we are, if you look at a soil map, you'll see also that where we're located is a dune system, a huge consolidated lithified dune system that reaches all the way almost across the isthmus of Maui. And if you look at the prevailing trade winds and realize that the ocean was actually higher millions of years ago, you can kind of understand how that beach sand all came across the isthmus. So we're not in really a kalo growing area, so we have a lot of challenges growing taro here, but we have been doing it, and some varieties do well. So we're standing in front of two long beds that were funded by a recent grant from the Sarah's Trust, and the purpose of them is just to try to grow 4 to 6 huli, which is the stem cutting, 4 to 6 plants of each variety that we have, and then those huli produce oha, and the oha are the offshoots. Oha is where the word ohana comes from, so family comes from that. In fact, there are actually there are several Hawaiian names for all the different generations that come off of a kalo plant. And the varieties are all very different in the way that the stature, the leaf shape, the way the leaf hangs. And another part of this grant is that, and it's not something that Maui Nui is doing, but the field guide to all those cultivars is being rewritten right now. So it was last written in the 1930s, and there were probably 300 to maybe as many as 600 taro varieties that were solely Hawaiian varieties that were developed here. This was the only place in the world where taro was grown in lo'i or ponds, and so wetland taro growing was developed to a really high degree in Hawaii.
And is Kalo or taro found in other places around the world?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Taro's been grown all over the world. It's a really important Pacific Island staple. But in Hawaii, it was probably the most important staple. It was more important than sweet potatoes, more important, or uwala, more important than the breadfruit or the ulu. And it's probably the reason why the Hawaiians survived when they first came. And there were 25 or 26 introductions or canoe plants here. And that's one of the things that we do, is that we're trying to preserve those old canoe plants and the varieties that developed from those first canoe plants. Sugarcane is another one. We're standing here. There's a big field of all different kinds of clumps of sugarcane or ko, and each one is different, and they're each a different old Hawaiian variety that developed from one or two introductions initially. So just like we have red delicious and golden delicious apples, the Hawaiians were developing their own varieties of bananas and sweet potatoes and sugarcane and taro.
Very interesting. And
Yeah.
so the taro it's a beautiful plant.
It is, and it's really fun to work with. It's beautiful to work with. It's let's go over here. I'm going to show you some larger, more mature specimens of different varieties that we actually got from Lion Arboretum on Oahu. Some of these varieties are so rare that they're being cloned in tissue culture to keep them around.
Gorgeous.
And Kalo very rarely produces seeds. So actually, like a lot of the crop plants that I've just mentioned, they're only clonally propagated. So the only source of variety is somatic mutation. So it's not from recombination. So the genetic diversity here is all from somatic mutation. And the way that it's propagated, and it's been propagated for so many thousands of years that it's mostly lost the ability to produce seeds. So the only way it can survive is in cultivation, unlike the native plants that we grow here. So this garden is, Maui Nui Botanical Gardens is a garden that has only native and Polynesian introduced plants. So the plants that got here to Hawaii without the aid of anything but wind, waves, or wings are the native plants. And the plants that came on canoes are the Polynesian introductions. So let's see, what can I tell you about this? So the central stem that's planted is called the huli, and the very first one that is planted, or the initial or original, is the makua, which means the ancestor or the origin. And the next generation is the oha. These are the offshoots. They come within a month or two. And these oha are what are preferred to be replanted the second time at a certain stage. And Kalo actually grows up. It gets tall and it makes a lot of top growth. It has a beautiful elephant ear shaped leaf. And what it'll do is it'll grow really big initially. And I've seen on Molokai, where Kalo farmers really know what they're doing, these plants will get to where they're way over your head. And then when they're starting to mature, they actually shrink and they get smaller and smaller. And instead, they're putting energy into the corm, which is the source of the starch and source of poi. It's also used as table taro. And the corm is a potato-like tuber on the. It's not a tuber technically, but it's a corm that's a potato-like starch right under the stem. And it doesn't grow down into the ground; it actually grows up. So it literally will shove the plant up out of the ground. So the huli has to be planted quite deep for it to mature properly. One in particular that's very pretty called apu vai. I don't have it planted here. I have it in the nursery.
Is vai water?
Yeah, vai. Apu vai, or cup of water, and it's got a cup-like shape. And it has a sister variety called apu, and apu was known from Maui. It was one that was particularly grown here in Maui. So yes, and different groups. There's the lauloa, or the long-leafed group, the manini, which has stripes on the. Most of them have stripes on the huli. Lohua, which they have a red sap, like the ohia lohua is red. Mana, which always has a twin. Yeah, each group has lots of different ones, and some of them have gone extinct, even in my lifetime. And so we're just trying to make sure that the ones that are here are kept, and that if new ones show up and they match the descriptions of the old descriptions that we have, that they're saved.
Wonderful. Yeah. Good work.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I've been very humbled by trying to learn how to grow this, in this area. It's been difficult.
Well, it's not its natural place, right? Well, look at this one. No. That's beautiful. Yeah, with the dark stems.
This is a mana. This is in the mana group. It's mana ele, and every cultivar in the mana group of Kalo. Very easy to distinguish. What they'll do is, as they mature, the huli will actually split into two or more huli. So they'll be twinned all on one corm. And some of them, quite a few of them, have a very yellow fleshed starch, so it's different from the more purple and gray.
And they have the spot in the middle too, huh? The leaf.
On the this is called the pico. The spot in the middle of the leaf is one of the identifying characters. It's called a pico, just like their navel. Yeah, your belly button. And there is a pico group, and in the pico group, this cut goes all the way down to the pico for each leaf.
And that's P-I-K-O?
P-I-K-O. Mm-hmm.
To learn more about Taro or Kalo, I spoke with John Aquino, a farmer who lives on Maui and who volunteers at the Maui Nui Botanical Gardens.
Hi, I'm John Aquino, Maialona. Where I live in my Ahupua'a, they say we have water, the aina, the land. I am a maka'ainana, I'm a farmer. I've been doing that as far as I can remember. It's like fun work. We pretty much can just sustain and live in the Ahupua'a, don't even have to come out. We have everything there. Yeah, we have the water, we have the whatever, the plants. We have a farm, we have pua'a, there's pigs, goats, also more. There's chickens that lay egg chickens and stuff, so we pretty much don't even have to come out from the Ahupua'a. You can just stay there.
With the water, with water, meat, and then you have your plants. What plants are you growing?
I mostly have Hawaiian plants, Kalo, Mai'a is the banana, Uala, sweet potato, Ko is the sugar cane, Ulu, the breadfruit.
That's Ulu. Really good.
Yeah, I have all kind of Hawaiian plants. I also have all kind of different ornamental kind of native plants, hardwood trees like Milo, Koa, Geishia Koa at my house. Ape is like a family to the Kalo, yeah. That is like the elephant ear. They call it the elephant ear.
Right.
Yeah.
And for people who may not know what Kalo is, can you tell them its other name?
Okay, the Kalo is also known as Taro, and the Kalo or the Taro, the corn from the Taro we used to make the poi. That's where poi come from. The Kalo or the Taro. The Kalo can eat every part of the plant. You can eat the stem, the stalk, the leaves, the corn. You can eat every part of the Kalo. The leaves were used to make lau lau. Get 3 or 4 leaves and you put all your whatever you want to put into the leaf, like pork or vegetables. You can put ulu, sweet potato, fish, or other kind of vegetables into the leaf. Wrap it up, and then you get the tea leaf, and then you wrap it up again, and you just put it into a steamer, or what we do, we put it into the imu. It's like an underground oven. It's really good stuff.
I don't think many people know you can eat the leaf or all the parts.
Oh, okay. The tricky part about preparing the leaf is the cooking. You have to cook it properly, at least an hour and a half of cooking the leaf, because the leaves has oxalated crystals in it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you don't cook it properly, and you're like half done and you eat it, it's gonna irritate your throat. Very itchy. It can get serious, itchy.
So that's really good for people to know.
Yeah. It's the cooking. You need to cook it properly, at least an hour and a half or 2. You can overcook it. It's not gonna do anything, burn it or bad to the leaf. So it's better to overcook it. It's the same way when you making lau lau or kalua pig. It's better to overcook. Like maybe you set it for you cook it setting time for like 4 hours. You can go 5 hours or 6 hours. Yeah, because you don't want to go under. Because once you go under and it's not cooked, then you have a problem there. Then you're gonna have to find other way to cook it.
Does the Kalo does that grow in water? Does it have to have a lot of water?
You can grow it in they call it a lo'i. Lo'i is like a pond. Yeah, that's pretty much the traditional way of growing the Kalo inside a lo'i. You also can grow it dry land. Just you till the ground, prepare the ground, make mounds like how you plant potatoes. You can grow it that way. The corn, the plant will come out the same as it in the lo'i. It will come out the same. So it's just me personally how I experienced both dry land and lo'i over that many years. So I'm just speaking for myself, yeah. But people have their own style, yeah. They have their own style of whatever cooking, and that's fine.
And when you prepare the ground to plant, do you use compost or what do you put in there?
Yeah, when you first preparing the ground, for the dry land planting, till the ground, yeah, you break it up, make it soft. You can add compost. The tilling and the compost is good for to get airflow going through the soil, so it's more free for the corn to grow and get bigger. To spread, exactly. Mulch is good. The native Hawaiian was heavily used mulch in old days.
What would they use?
Whatever, leaves, drop cuttings from the grass, leaves from whatever, all kinds of different plants, trees. What the mulch does and what it provides, it has a lot of usage. Yeah, it provides, it has some kind of nutrients to the plant. It has nutrients, and also it does have some pest control. It does control pests. During the hot season, it keeps the plant cool, and during the cold season, it keeps the plant warm. It's vital. Mulch. That's why the native Hawaiians use it a lot.
So you don't have the bare soil just baking in the sun, huh?
Yes, exactly. Like I said, a lot of the plants they use for mulching, it also used for plant food, like giving back the nutrients to the plant. So that's like our food plant also. Plant food.
Yeah, like a fertilizer.
Yeah, like a fertilizer.
What about pest control, pre-chemicals?
In the old days, all they use is all these different mulch they experiment with. That's the only kind of pest control they had. But anyway, back in the old days, we didn't have a lot of problem with pests. Also, back in the old days, when there was problem with pests in a certain area where there was a large area of planting, what they did, they harvest the whole area and they left it fallow for like about a year. Letting the soil, the ground heal, and at the same time, it opens up the whole area to the heat, the sun, and it just kind of like eliminating all the whatever pest is in the soil there.
That makes sense.
So that's one of the practice for dealing with pests. I'm sure there's other ways. One of the plant that was favorite use for fertilizer was the sugarcane plant. Sugarcane for its high of phosphorus, that's why it was a favorite plant for fertilizing your plants.
Mm-hmm. So it would get that phosphorus in the ground when you cut it and lay it out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I use that today. My plants is all nice. It looks healthy, happy plants.
Well, you like plants. They probably are like, yes, we're in the right place with the right person.
Oh yeah, I love plants. Yeah, I wish a lot of next generation. I don't know, we get a hard time to get them to help us out in doing the farming, but they come out. Yeah, it takes a little while, but eventually they come out and then get interested in it and then they end up loving it, and then it's all good.
And it's almost like once you're there doing it, then it's good.
Yeah.
But sometimes the kids don't want to get out for some reason.
Yeah, well, when you get them out there and and they plant stuff on their own, and then they get all excited. They see what they had done, and they see, oh, their plant is growing, and that's what they planted. So they get all excited. They want to keep on doing it. Yeah.
That's the fun part of it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even for me too. Right? Yeah, I get all excited. The plant's growing, looking nice and healthy. So
once you know, like, oh my gosh, that's my meal, that's my food.
Absolutely.
You grow what you like.
Yeah, that's right. That plays an important role. I'm so heavily involved in plants to sustain myself and my family, and to educate others if they want to choose to go that way, to be like independent. Yeah, not dependent. Yeah, that's what it's all about, sustaining yourself.
Do you teach classes anywhere about plants, or you're here at the garden?
We do an ethnobotanical tour here which is ethnobotanical tour, is a tour about the relationship between the Hawaiian people and the plants and what the plants were used for.
When is that? Is that on the website? People can find it?
Yeah. Well, what you can do, you can go on Maui Nui Botanical Garden website, and once you get in there, events and stuff will pop up, and then you can check out scheduling when things are happening, like workshops and stuff like that. So it's on the website, Maui Nui Botanical Garden.
.org, I think.
.org.
Well, thank you so much. This has been so educational, and it's been really great to talk with you.
Mahalo. Thanks for having me, giving me the chance to talk story with the people out there.
Thanks for listening to The Plant Report. The Plant Report is produced by Jill Cloutier and is a project of Sustainable World Radio. For more podcasts about plants, permaculture, and ecology, visit our website, sustainableworldradio.com, and you can also find us on iTunes, Facebook, and Twitter. The Plant Report is created for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any health condition. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to thank the plants for everything they do.